Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 65th episode. You might know 65 and not 64. 64 wasn't able to be uploaded because it already happened. And I'm going to probably upload it anyway because I was right. Why not have another reason to be right? And that's why you should listen to me about these next couple of picks for the college football playoff. Let's begin with a new matchup of Penn State hosting SMU. Now, we can talk about this. I think a big factor for a lot of things, and the point, I'm surprised by the points, I should say first. 8. I thought Penn State would be a lot bigger, to be honest. Or not a lot bigger. Let's say 3 points bigger. Here's why. Penn State, even though they've lost to these teams, they've at least faced those teams and have learned. SMU barely held on to Clemson. The Penn State faced Ohio State, Oregon, and I would say USC way back when, and the reason I bring them up specifically is because of the change in time zones, which I think, look, that I expected them to either keep that game close or lose it because of the change in time zones. They won it, which again surprising, just because of time zone change. And I believe it was the only weekend where time zone changed because that was when Ohio State went to Oregon and lost. Penn State went to USC and won. So to me, that is a big factor coming here, especially for Penn State. I think it should have been bigger, like 11. But give credit to SMU. They had a great season. Obviously, they kept Clemson close. The reason I say Clemson's the big factor for me, because either they can be a team that it's like fidgety, they can fight, or they'll be the team that like they'll just be one and out and that's it. And it might be one and out because I think they're facing Texas, and there's reports Isaiah Bond unable to play, but even without that, and you could say even with Quinn Ewers not playing as well, I think it's still a winnable game. But going back to this, let's get SMU, number 11 SMU at Penn State. With a plus, with an 8 differential. As much... Look, I can admit I'm a rooter for Penn State. And I just try to give the argument. I think the Big Ten overall is better than the ACC. I think that was proven over and over again. But going back to it, it would be devastating for Penn State has to win this game. One, like SMU's good enough to maybe be a trickster. But Penn State has that P's and Q's. Because, look, this is their chance. This is their chance. Because they finally got in the playoff. It took the expansion, but they got in. They're number 6 in the nation. I mean, they have to at least win this game. That's the most important thing. They have to win this game. Penn State must win this game, and I think they can with their defense, their offense, their defense playing elite, their offense not being as elite as their defense, but being good enough to at least put up some points. Drew Aller, very good quarterback. I think it'll be obviously be easier with Drew Aller, not as easy with the backup quarterbacks. Obviously, the third quarterback, good luck, Penn State. So, if there's any injuries, good luck, Penn State. You better be able to run the ball with Nicholas Singleton. You better be able to get to your tight end. And they better be giving him if I was SMU, I am making sure that tight end does not get a single catch. I'm triple covering him, and I'm forcing the wide receivers and other tight ends, running backs, and them to be open. And the quarterback, I don't care if it's Drew Aller, any of the quarterbacks, and I think Drew Aller's still playing, to find someone else. We're taking away, I believe it's number 44. We're taking away 44, find someone else. And do I think they have the talent? I think they do. But I think it's different because, again, a major of the big plays came from 44. He's a great tight end. He's battling, I think, for the number one tight end spot in the nation, if not the best tight end. Unless he was given the award, but I'm just basing off of that. They can't really do it throughout the whole game. I would say this. I'm going to go with Penn State. And I know I said earlier I wanted to go with Penn State. I feel better with Penn State because of one of their defense, two because of their running backs, three because of the tight end. If you can run the ball, I don't care if it's college, NFL, USFL, Canadian. If you're able to run the ball and being able to chew up clock, you're taking away the other offense's ability to put points, and you're tiring out the defense. So yeah, taking Penn State to win by 8, and I will say this game's gonna go over. This game's gonna be over. That as in the over under 52.5. The over under, it goes over. I think there'll be a late score by SMU to make it seem closer than it was. I think Penn State will have, it'll be a back, and a fourth, and then a little bit of a hesitancy, and then Penn State will put up, some points. SMU might put up a little bit less points. Penn State will put up more points, and then within the last part of the game, SMU will put up more points, which will get over the 52. Both teams have to get into the 30s or high 20s. I think that's very possible for both these teams. Next, we travel to Texas, where I did say before, with Texas and that with Isaiah Bond. At 4 p.m., number 12 Clemson will have to travel to number 5 Texas in the playoff game at Texas. The differential is 13. To me, Isaiah Bond is still up in the air at this point of the broadcast. Quinn Ewers has gotten a lot of flack. I think you have to come back from injury slowly. You're not going to be what you were at points and then get injured and then just come back to that. And especially with Arch Manning right behind you. And it's been confirmed that Quinn is already going to be leaving. So I think what he would like to do in order to maybe, go on a high note. Obviously, losing the national championship, that's everything. But, performing well. I think he'll perform well. I think he's going to get himself ready. And I think I'm going to go with Texas for the game. Now, the points are the difficult part. I mean, you're telling me Clemson gets 13 against a team with, again, struggling quarterback. I'm struggling quarterback. Their wide receiver 1 might be out. Defense has been good, but have they faced a lot of bad? Have they faced a lot of mobile quarterbacks? I don't. Maybe one or two, but I think it's always, no matter how many you face, it's always going to be a challenge. Look at what Nick Saban had to deal with. It got so bad he had to get one of his own in order to help him out, and it worked, didn't it? Conventional brain is saying right now, take Texas in the 13. Unconventional saying take Clemson the 13. And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest here. I feel the Penn State pick is going to affect this pick because I take a homer. No, not a homer, but like I take the obvious Penn State, who I said earlier with all things. If you have the refresher, please go back to the beginning of the video. And like the obvious one because of the points, right? But there's going to be an upset. There is going to be like, what happened to this team? What happened here? And to be honest, I'm trying to catch that. Honestly, the way thinking about that, I'm going to take Clemson the points. I'm going to take Clemson the points. As long as they don't lose by more than 13, that's good to me. If I'm right back, and Clemson, look, both of these quarterbacks, Quinn Ewers, Klubnik, provide unique attacking points for their offenses and against each other's defense. Quinn he's been an overall good quarterback, but his precise passing. And yeah, he has precise passing. Please, just give him some injury time. Let's all give him some injury time. That's there. Klubnik has the ability to run at any moment. 50 yards, 75 yards, anywhere from the field, he will get to the end zone. He can get to the end zone. And I think that provides a slight... That could help with the offense with the running backs. That could help with passing game. Because if you have to stop the run first, and you can't stop the run because of the quarterback, then that's going to change your defensive scheme and trying to gap it and contain it where a big play can happen. Whether pass or run. Or both, actually. So, I feel better. I feel better on the inside about taking Clemson with the 13 than trying to take Texas and they have to score 13 and win by 13. They have to score 13, unanswered, by the way, unanswered 13 points, and then keep it so that throughout the game they're within, that they're at above for 13. If they can do it, great. That'll be great. I think they have a great shot at the national championship. I think, yeah, whatever. But Clemson with a tough, who's one of those tough teams, like I said earlier. I feel better about Clemson and the 13 points. And the over-under, oh my God. I said over for the last one. For some reason, I'll say over for this one as well. Here's why. Because if Texas has the offensive score, Clemson has enough of an offense to where it could be like, use the run from Klubnik, use the run from the running backs to just keep it defense honest, and then pass enough, and then maybe keep within the spread, but maybe just keep enough points to where to 50.5, which again is like 20, like at least close to 30 points, if not like 20 points each, but one team, whatever. It's not entirely out there. And lastly, we end at 8 p.m. or end at 8 p.m. tomorrow with number 9 Tennessee at number 8 Ohio State. Now this one's the closest matchup of the night. Yeah, closest matchup of the night. Number 9 versus number 8. It's SEC versus Big Ten, which to me, this hasn't been talked about enough. This is the first matchup. Hold on. Yeah, this is the biggest matchup. It's the SEC versus Big Ten. Which conference is better? Does the SEC hold on to? Does the SEC hold on to their wear the crown, wear the jewel? Or does the Big Ten finally say, just punch them in the mouth and knock them out? We'll see. Going right into it. I'm trying to remember. Is that quarterback out? Is there quarterback out? Nico? Hold on. I just realized the possible moment of Nico Yam. I'm sorry if I messed up that name. I know I messed up the name. Is he available? Okay, never mind. I guess he's in. And let me see. Well, we have Drew Miller, that Klubnik and Quinn. So it's a little bit of a quarterback back and forth throughout the entire game, which is always good. And that's a sign of a. I think that should be the game plan for any program. You need to have quarterback, good to elite quarterbacks, good with good team, elite with some good team. Like the NFL, whatever. It's Nico versus Will, and that to me should be interesting. Both athletic quarterbacks. I mean, Nico, I think, has still gotten the popularity at the edge, and he's only a freshman. Will Howard has some experience and obviously took over last year for the other quarterback at Ohio State. Obviously, Will has had, at the Oregon game I mentioned earlier for Penn State SMU comparison, he made the miscalculation of running with the clock and ended the game there when he was supposed to just get down and maybe have another play. This is going to be an offensive spectacular. And I'm surprised about the over-under, first off. The over-under, that's the lowest of all three. The highest is SMU at Penn State. Then Clemson at Texas at 50.5. And then Tennessee, Ohio State at 46.5. They may be taking down more because I think people believe that Ohio State's defense is going to be able to contain Nico and that offense. Conventional wisdom would tell you that, yeah. But conventional wisdom says they're going to get after that freshman. But he's a unique freshman. Unique. And I'm not the first in the bandwagon. I'm probably 500,000th. If I'm that close. I have nothing against them. I'm mostly not a Tennessee Volunteers fan. But being fair, this is a big challenge for Tennessee, this game. It's the closest matchup, but it's with Ohio State. Let's remember, elite level defense, good defense. Let's just be fair. Let's just say, here are Ohio State's major losses to Oregon, who's number 1, Michigan, who is their rival, and it was motivated to win that game. That was the highlight of their season. That was a unique motivator for any other thing. Unique motivator. To me, look, honestly, this is the first time I'm going to say this. Because I'm going to say this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this game only because I like the story. I hope I'm wrong about this game because I like the story. I think Ohio State is going to win this game Maybe about a lot more than 7. Yeah, by a lot more than 7. I'll stick to it. I think. I don't know if it's like a pour on. I can't really say, oh, I'm going the under because of that. I think I'm going to go triple O. Triple O over. Over. I think Tennessee. I think. Again, yeah. Going back to it. I think it'll be over. Ohio State offense. I think that offense. I think Ryan Day, for everything he's been through, and it's been justified, by the way. Justified. Ohio State, it's justified. Everything happened this year, justified. All the criticism, all the making fun of him, it has been justified because of the fact he does not show up when it's supposed to be Ohio State. He didn't show up versus Oregon. He was the favorite in the Michigan game. Literally, that, like, to me, that was the shocker of the weekend. That was the shocker of the college football season, in my honest opinion. Because of the fact you guys, Ohio State this year, you have everything. You had everything. Your schedule wise, player wise, and I mean the emergence of Jeremiah Smith, great. But you kind of screwed it up by the fact that you couldn't win against Oregon because your quarterback, because you don't go over situational football apparently, in that regard, and then, or situational awareness. Let's just keep it real. Situational awareness would have been Ryan Day, Chip Kelly. That's what your staff is, by the way. I think Chip would have liked to win this game because remember he was at Oregon, and this is that to me, like, either Ryan Day ignoring him or Chip Kelly has some other issues. Chip Kelly, to me, two offensive minds, one who really put the option college saw his offense is Chip Kelly at Oregon, by the way. Again, I say that because it annoys me the fact that you have two of the most impactful offensive minds. One impactful offensive mind is your offensive coordinator. One who's had good offenses, Ryan Day as offensive coordinator when Urban Meyer was there. That got him that offense is why he got the Ohio State job. And I don't even know who. Like, really? No one had the thought, even with no timeouts, or in that situation. And I'm going half an hour in the video because this is just stupid. No one thought, hey, Will, you're not Mississippi. Do not do 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. It's click, click, click. You see it, you don't see it. If you see it, hit it. If you don't see it, or actually, like, it's noisy. I'm trying to remember the play right now. Okay. I tell him not to run. That's a first off because that's his clock. I can't remember if they had one timeout. Here's the situation. Let's just do hypotheticals because I don't remember the exact game. I don't remember the exact situation with timeouts, seconds. That important part, I just don't remember if they had one timeout remaining after that. I think they did, or if they had none. But if I'm Ryan Day and Chip Kelly, the unison part is this. Well, we have the situation one. Well, we have one timeout. Do not run. Here's what you're going to do. Don't run. First off, don't run. You're going to emphasize in his head because he's going to get up. So, you tell Will, take the shotgun pass. If you see it, you got 2 seconds. And not 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You got 2 clicks. 2 clicks. If you think you hold on to it too long, just throw it away. And I can't remember if it was fourth down. I don't think it was fourth down too. There's a lot of, but this is the stuff you have to know about. That was what Ryan Day was paid for. That was why Chip Kelly was also brought in. I don't like their style of offense, but also having another offensive mind. You guys have to be aware of that. And if you beat Oregon, guess what? I think you were number 4 at that point. You could have been number 1, which should have been. Then let's say that happens. Let's say you got beat Oregon. You're undefeated going into Michigan. You go into Michigan. Your situational awareness is this. You know the fact that Michigan is 100. You tell them, you emphasize the rivalry, because apparently you don't like to emphasize the rivalry, which is dumb as hell. You emphasize it. You make them hate Michigan. That's the whole point. Why do you think Michigan keeps kicking your butt? Why do you think Michigan keeps kicking your butt? They understand, the players understand what's going on, and they know the history. If you have a history, you have appreciation for it. The way that Michigan has played, they show appreciation of the fact of playing against Ohio State and kicking your butt. And obviously they had nothing else to fight for. Well, they had a bowl game, but bowl game versus playoff, they prefer playoff. Obviously, going back to the playoffs after the national championship, it's fine. But you had a chance to not only go undefeated, silent your biggest rival, and oh, by the way, here's another thing. You could have gotten your first win as I think it's your first win as the Ohio State head coach versus Michigan. That's crazy. The fact you haven't done that. That's crazy. I think it was like as I remember hearing it somewhere, listening to it, and I couldn't believe it. The freshman that came in when Ryan did, because he's been there for about 4 or 5 years, from freshmen all the way to seniors, they never beat Michigan. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible. I'm going to keep saying that. Oh my God. And I'm not even an Ohio State fan, for God's sakes. I'm not even an Ohio State fan. Let's end this right here. So I'm going back to it. Picking Ohio State, hesitantly, I'll say. And also the fact I want Tennessee to win because of the story. I like the story of Tennessee. I like Nico. I would like to see him win a playoff game. And to beat Ohio State in the playoff, man, that's good for Tennessee. And good for the playoff. Not good for Ohio State. But then again, it's just you guys who are really affected. It's just pointing it out, being fair. But actually, it's me affected because I'm picking Ohio State. Okay, so I'm with you, Ohio State, in like looking at the numbers and what should happen, and the corrections you should have made from your idiotic mistakes. But I hope Tennessee wins, and I hope to be wrong. Finishing out, let's just finish up. Ohio State by 7 over, because I think Ohio State, it's either going to be back and forth type of game with scoring. Ohio State scores a lot, but then Tennessee's able to score just enough, make it seem closer than it is. Or, to be honest, it could just go this way. Ohio State just crunches Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't score maybe a point, maybe 3 points, and all the points are like the 46.5. Besides, like 40, essentially, if I'm saying over, it's at least 47. 44 of the points. Of the 44 of the 47 points are coming from Ohio State. A little bit longer video, but I'd like to thank everyone for listening. If you could follow us, subscribe below. Give this video a like. Comment below about anything. Love to hear from the audience. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great night. And let's enjoy some football. Thank you.